This episode of Outlander Cast is brought to you by MinuteWithMary.com. You know how you don't want to leave your house right now? Most of you can't even leave your house right now. Well, guess what? Minute with Mary items. That's right. You know, self-care. Do a little spa night at home, a little mask. Maybe throw in a little lipstick to fake it. Like you know, you got somewhere to go. They are shipping to you. They're still shipping to you. It's my business that I run from my home in addition to creating these podcasts with my amazing husband. I love to help people feel more creative and confident when it comes to their makeup. And just for you, our listeners, I like to have a discount each month on one of my favorite items. And my favorite item this month is my 40 Epic Mascara. It gives you a really gorgeous, deep, dark black eyelashes. It gives you a sense of almost false eyelashes. And let's be real, when you are doing Zoom or Google Hangouts, you want to look a little put together, right? Or else you're just going to click that video off thing. If you've got a little mascara on, I'm telling you, it's going to make you look super fly. Super fly. So if you want to fake it like you look fantastic, but you're wearing jammies on the bottom half of you for your Zoom calls, head on over to minutewithmary.com/discount, and I'm going to hook you up with a 15% discount off my favorite mascara.
I released you from your oath. You went the cost to save me. You should have done as I asked.
I'd never betray your mother. No matter who asked.
Augusti.
Don't be afraid, Alaki. It doesn't hurt a bit to die.
Murtagh. Murtagh. Help me. Help me. Help me!
Conrad, I think you... Help me now!
All the way from Providence, Rhode Island, welcome to Outlander Cast. It's a podcast dedicated to the show Outlander on Starz.
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Say goodnight, lassie.
Is anyone else crying?
We're supposed to give the illusion that this is the intro. What was that?
Oh my god. Sing me a song. And I thought of a Murtagh who's gone. That is gone.
Oh, man. Poor thing.
Oh my god.
She's actually crying, ladies and gents. Really crying here. Real tears, not fake Hollywood tears.
No. Those got no place.
No place in this place.
In this studio.
No, none.
Holy smokes. Okay, guys, let's be real. If you're joining us online, show me what some of your favorite emojis, what you looked like in the middle of last night's episode, at the end of last night's episode. Just show us some emojis, because I'm going to describe for you mine. First and foremost, Blake and I watched this episode broken up thanks to our children not going to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
No.
Everything's been crazy.
We had a lightning storm.
We had a straight up lightning storm that lasted way too long. Okay, woke up the children. There was a couple of pieces of big thunder. The whole entire sky was lighting up, even though it was, of course, nighttime. And come to find out, I found out on my Instagram stories while Blake and I were starting the episode, I was videotaping us. And I didn't realize it, but my little son was crawling behind us in the kitchen behind us. So needless to say, our episode was broken up. And it was like at the most poignant moments that either the lightning storm was happening or the children were coming in, and it still didn't break the fact that we cried. through, you know what I mean? Like I told Blake, I said, no matter what, we have to like rewatch this episode right away because we didn't get to have like that full feeling that we needed. But we said, how amazing that even with lightning storms and about 4 interruptions of our children, because you know there was sex in this episode, there was a lot of blood and fighting in this episode. This occasionally our kids come in and we're like, yeah, you can like sit on the couch, it's fine. This was not an episode for a 4 and 6-year-old.
No.
And still we were like broken. And just when you think you're broken, then you go like, oh my God, where's Roger? And you're like, oh my God, I can't. All right, so we're going to talk about this episode, but if you don't know me, hi, I'm very emotional today. My name's Mary.
My name's Blake, and I'm also very emotional, but not as emotional as Mary today, which is excellent.
Yes.
Mary's on the mend today. She's not feeling so good.
It's all good.
She's not feeling so good. So everybody, when you listen to this on the podcast, or if you're watching this on live, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or YouTube later on, send Mary some love. She's muscling through some good stuff today. So, just, give her some love. And it's an emotional time. I mean, we got the virus that shall not be named. We got Murtagh dying. We don't know the fate of one Roger Mac. I mean, lots of stuff happening today.
Yeah.
The Tom Brady is on the Buccaneers.
I don't even care.
I do. I still care.
Listen, there are 2 other more important losses that we need to discuss. But before we discuss it, of course, we wanted to welcome you. If you don't know that Blake and I do a lot of other podcasts, we do at maryandblake.com. And in case you didn't get the memo, there is no episode of Outlander next week.
Nope.
That's right.
They're skipping.
They just want you to feel like crap.
They're letting you simmer and suffer.
Truth be told, they're having a marathon where you're able to rewatch episodes and catch up.
Fair enough.
So here's what I'm going to do for you. Next Sunday, okay, we're going to have peeps vote on what episode of Outlander we're going to rewatch that is available via Netflix. Because Netflix is allowing you to do this like watch party thing right now. Okay. And Outlander's...
Can I already put my vote in?
No, we don't like your votes.
No. Can I put my vote in?
I mean, you can vote in a poll.
No, I vote for the Battle Joined.
We'll see.
Or down the rabbit hole. One or the other.
So... is it seasons 1 through 3?
Seasons 1 through 3.
Yeah, are up on Netflix. And even if you don't have Netflix, maybe you have the DVDs, or maybe you can, of course, access it through Stars. But we're going to do a watch party at 9:00 p.m. Eastern. You're really awake still?
Our son just creeped up. Come here, bud. Come here. Hurry up.
Come here, babe.
Come here.
Why don't you go get your red chair and you can come sit and
what?
and
No,
draw.
come say hi to everybody. Come here. Come say hi to everybody.
Say hi. You can come say hi.
Come on.
This is real life, right?
Ladies and gents, the beauty of live podcasting.
So we normally, when there is no virus going on, have a babysitter on Monday nights to watch our kids so that we can podcast. Bring it on Daddy's side, little man. Right over there. There you go. This is what happens, right? I was thinking about all the famous people who like don't cook or clean for themselves. How interesting and how gross their houses must be right now, unless like
Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Say hi to everybody. Here, speak into the mic.
Can you sing the Skyboat song? Sing me a
song, oh alas that is gone, save her that last be I.
Mary of
So she sailed on a day over the sea to sky.
High five.
Good job. All right.
Thanks, man.
All right, now sit down, be quiet. I don't want to hear from you.
I asked him to draw me a picture of a forest, and he did it. Thank you, buddy. Why don't you take a little seat, okay? You can keep drawing if you want.
Not bad. All right, so sit down, be quiet.
No, shh. You can go get your other pens if you want, okay?
Okay.
You don't want to leave your family. Oh my God. After last night's episode,
I know, it's
hearing
fine.
that's all I need to hear.
Fine.
Oh my gosh. With Jamie starting off talking about how he's older than his dad ever was. I was like this. And Roger singing a Jemmy saying, make sure you know the lyrics to Clementine. Oh my gosh. Needless to say, I was about to say, please join us at maryandblake.com. We have a lot of other podcasts. If you need to fill your time, if you would like to check it out, we podcast about a lot of other things.
Let's be honest. All you got is time right now. All you got is time.
Right?
So you could talk about The Leftovers. We could talk about This Is Us. We could talk about The Gilmore Girls, Game of Thrones with you. You can even go to MaryandBlake.com and read about The Handmaid's Tale, which I'm doing a blog series, which I just put up a brand new article today.
I wouldn't really go for The Handmaid's Tale nowadays. Not very uplifting.
Well,
Gilmore Girls, though.
All about the
Sign me
Gilmore
up.
Girls life. We did our 10 favorite episodes of Gilmore Girls, plus the latest season on Netflix. So I'm very happy about that episode. As a matter of fact, Gilmore Girls was the first show that we podcasted about in our brand new studio that we have right now, that we're in. That was the first show we podcasted.
Look at
about
that.
In
So
this brand new
speaking of
studio.
podcasting, we're going to dive deep into episode 507. Hold on tight. Here we go. Break it on down for me. Tell me a little bit about the details of this episode.
Sure. The episode title was The Ballad of Roger Mac, which is quite funny, only because Roger didn't really appear a whole lot in this episode, except for kind of the beginning and obviously the end, which I have a great outlandish theory about, by the way. I have two grade A outlandish theories for today. So I'm very excited about that. The writer was Tony Graffia, who is one of the main writers of the show. Last season served as basically co-showrunner. This season seems to have taken a little bit of a step back from that position, where it seems like it's more like Matt's boat that he's running now. But Tony's still writing a lot of great episodes here, and she's written quite a few episodes of Outlander, starting back with Rent, The Devil's Mark, The Watch, La Dame Blanche, Faith, Dragonfly and Amber, Of Lost Things, Freedom and Whiskey, Eye of the Storm, America the Beautiful, The Birds and the Bees, Man of Worth, Between Two Fires, and obviously The Ballad of Roger Mac. Now, for those of you who don't know, Tony actually served as one of the main writers for Battlestar Galactica, which was Ron's show, a wildly successful show before Outlander, which kind of, aside from Star Trek, really thrust Ron Moore into the elite showrunner in the world category. So Tony is a big time writer, and I think we'll get into her in a little bit. But this one was directed by Stephen Wolfenden, who directed The Fiery Cross, Between Two Fires. Oh, he also directed Man of Worth, and obviously The Ballad of Roger Mac. Mary, what are you giving for the kilt rating on
This one is a 5+.
It's a 5+.
5+.
Oh my
Even as I
God.
said, even with a lightning storm and the kids waking up and all chaos throughout the household, this episode had me from beginning through end. There was nay a moment where I was pulled away, where I was distracted by something, aside from washing oneself in a river. But that was like a totally okay distraction.
Dare I say...
Oh, 100%. This horse, this episode was not just like a horse, but what's a group of horses called? People here will know.
Yeah, I don't.
People
I don't know.
online will know.
What is the plural of horses? Like a
Pack, not a pack of horses.
A pack of horses?
A herd. It's a herd.
I don't think it's a herd.
That's like a herd of cattle.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Everyone that's watching, tell us.
Okay, so yes, 5+. One, probably, I think my favorite episode out of the season 5 episodes so far.
People are saying it's a herd. Yes. It's a herd. It's a herd of horses.
That's right. I took veterinary science in college.
I am happy to report, after many a pony for season 5 and even really season 4, I'm happy to report that this is in fact a horse on my behalf, and in fact I'm giving it a 4.99.
Oh,
it is not quite a 5. Not quite a 5.
But pretty much.
I mean, here's what I'll
Pretty
say.
much a
Here's
5.
what I'll say. I'll go 5, but it's not a 5+.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So I'm teetering between 4.9 and 5.
Okay.
It's the first time I've actually cried in Outlander since Down the Rabbit Hole, which is why I'm voting for that one. And it's probably the best episode of Outlander since the battle joined. And that's pretty high praise in my book. That is exceptionally high praise, seeing that was the Battle Joined was the last episode written by one Ron Moore.
This episode was so good.
So I am thrilled. I am thrilled to say that I was really happy with this episode.
Agreed.
From the beginning. All right, what's your GBG?
Okay, so my good, my bad, and my great for this episode. Now, those of you who are loyal fans of myself and Blake, you know that when an episode is 5+, you don't do a good, bad, great. You do a good, great, best.
Yep.
So, my good for this episode was the entire interaction of Jamie taking the coat off and throwing it on the ground, and really what that means and what it's setting the stage for. Just the whole coat interaction in general, whether it's being given to him or taking it off. I just really loved it. I loved seeing Sam's acting. This entire episode, I think all of the actors did a phenomenal job, but really, like, we were there with him. We were peeling that coat off with hatred, with grief, with agony, as like tears of our own are streaming down our face. We all as viewers wanted to take that red coat and throw it on the ground with him, and I loved that. So that was my good.
Yep.
My great was actually Roger's interaction with Murtagh Mackenzie. And
Wow.
I had yeah.
Wow, that's the great. Okay.
Yeah. And I loved it because this is sweet, sweet Roger, who's so excited to bump into this very distant relative of his yet again, and to know that she's there and she's well, and the goodness of Roger, you know, of course, like, people haven't necessarily been able to see him, but this was like, Roger has such an amazingly sweet, sweet heart, and there he is telling her, like, what are you going to do? You need to be safe. You need to get away from here. If you ever need anything, come find me on the ridge. Like, he's just so happy to see her, and the love that he had, just for this very distant relative. I loved it. I will say this, it wasn't as poignant to me on our first time, probably because our children were waking us up a million times. But the second and third time, it just really, it just hit me. And I just was sitting there saying, God, Roger, I adore you. I adore you, and I adore your sweetness, and I'm sorry for what happens to you. And then my best was Jamie asking Claire to say Murtagh. When he comes in, oh my God, I'm going to cry.
Oh,
this is when I really lost it. Like, I was sad when he was shot. I was sad when he was saying, you know, it doesn't hurt to die, like all of that. But there's there's Jamie putting Murtagh down, saying, Claire, save him. And he's running around the room saying, what do you need? You know, save him. And he's getting all of Claire's like beloved stuff because he knows Claire. He knows what tools she needs. He knows she has all this stuff, and he knows where it is, and he's going and he's grabbing it, like just trying to like help her to do whatever he possibly can. And right then and there, we're all Claire. You know what I mean? And that's what this episode did. Like, this episode, in these moments, I stood there in different people's shoes. I stood there in Muragh's shoes being like, oh my gosh, this guy is so sweet. He really helped me out. Like, God, I was there in Jamie's shoes. I was there in Claire's shoes. And those moments really, really stood out to me. And that is by far where I cried the most, is I was sobbing for Jamie as he's trying everything he can to beg his wife to save his godfather.
He said, I don't release you. Oh my God, that was, I'll admit, I mean, I cried obviously during the whole death scene, but you're right, Mary, when that look of desperation on Sam's face as he's playing Jamie and all the things that he's doing, man, I mean, brutal stuff, brutal stuff.
How about you? What was your GBG?
All right, you ready for a big surprise?
Yes.
All right, so here's what I'm going to say. I'm officially going to tack up to 5.
Yay!
I'm officially going to this is, okay, that's it. That's the official take. You know what?
Slangeva. Welcome to the club.
The official take is that it's a 5. Only because I'm listening to Mary talk about it, and you know what? Yes, absolutely. It is a 5. Not a 5+, not a 5+, but it's definitely a 5. All right, so my good, and here's the surprising take. This is a take for the ages.
And you know what's fun is that you and I don't even like look at each other's GBGs.
No, we
People
don't.
wonder. We don't talk about the episode.
Yes,
like
we don't. No, we
watch
don't.
it.
We don't. I mean, we'll say like, "Hey, what'd you think?" It was good. Like I always say to Mary, "Yeah, it was good."
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. That's it. That's all I say to her.
As we're both sobbing. Last night we were like, "Yeah, it was good."
Great. I kept an eye on it.
You kept an eye on it? Yeah.
Yeah.
All night.
I bet you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, he did, rather. All right, so here's my surprising take. This is a take for the ages. You ready for this? My good? Tim Downey. Yeah. Choke on the White Claw. Choke on the claw.
Hold on.
Tim Downey.
The bloke that you've been making fun of.
The guy that I just wanted to punch in the face all season.
Hey, careful.
Oh, well, it's okay. He's fine. He's drawing. He ain't listening. The guy, Colonel Fraser, that guy is my good. And he was good because I really believed him. And I loved the way that he was dictating the letter to his little henchman there. And I loved even more the way that he was fighting with Jamie towards the end. Mm-hmm. He just had this arrogance about him. He had this ugliness about him that was just spectacular in every way. And when I look at Tim Downey and I see what he was doing, I kind of get it. I kind of get why they like it. I feel like they brought him in for this particular scene. He just has that arrogance about him when he makes Jamie. Well, that makes him, but just kind of heavily suggests that he put on the coat. The whole interaction with he and Jamie was on point in every way. Loved it. The bad here. The bad that prevents it from being a 5+ for me, because Mary, a 5+ has to be a transcendent episode of television, regardless of context, regardless of the show itself. A 5+ for me has to be, wow, this one I'm gonna remember among all of the other episodes of television I've ever watched from any other show. And it's not to say that I won't remember this one, but the one that prevents it from being transcendent is the obvious gotcha moment at the end of the episode with Roger, the hanging, where it was like, okay, Roger just got hung. Looks like he's dead, but there's a bag on his face. Tune in next week. Sorry, no, tune in 2 weeks from now to see if he's really dead. Come on, man. Like, don't take away from Murtagh like that. And if you're going to do me dirty like that, tell me whether or not it's Roger or not. Just tell me.
And what, like the preview for next week?
No, just tell me. Just tell me straight up. Like, show Roger hanging if it's really Roger. Like, don't do me dirty. And I feel like I was done a little dirty at the end of the episode. So, having said that, that's my bad. But the great is obviously everything with Murtagh, and Jamie trying to save his life. Everything that went on with Claire, everything with trying to drag him to the hospital, crying out, help me now. All of it. The interaction between Duncan and Sam, just all of it with Murtagh's death was just exquisite. And it was exquisite writing. I'll get into it with you in a little bit more why I really loved it. But not only that, I think it's a tie for my great, which is Jamie wearing the red coat. Jamie wearing the red coat is one of those moments of television that I will never forget.
Yep.
I will never forget him putting on that coat and looking up and the level of disgust and anger.
The coat had to make it as like one of the GBGs, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
That is one moment I'll never forget. The battle joined when like Blackjack reaches out to touch Jamie. Mm-hmm. Like that's one of those things that just like that just
yep
sticks in my brain.
Yep.
And the red coat with Jamie will always stick in my brain from now till the day I die. That was just one of those really cool, surreal moments in Outlander. So that's that. So Mary.
Yes, love.
I'm going to say this. This is not a nuclear take.
Okay.
But this is I feel like this is for a lot of book readers, this is a red hot magma take. This is exactly why you keep Murtagh alive. You need Murtagh alive in order to get this kind.
And he's dead.
Well, no, you kept him alive like
Okay,
after the
you're
Battle
saying
of Culloden.
this is why Murtagh has been alive up through midway season 5.
Yes, absolutely. This is
I feel
why.
like we need to clarify.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Because Murtagh is gone. Claire doesn't have anything in that little black bag that's going to be bringing him back.
Yep. So this is why you kept him alive, because it gives real emotional push to what happens with the regulators. It makes the story worth telling. Because I'll tell you this, and I want to get your opinion.
Okay.
As the battle is going down, it was adequately directed. Like, I knew where I was. I knew the geography of the battle, but there was nothing really spectacular. There's nothing really special about the battle, per se. It was shot competently. Mm-hmm. I didn't care about anybody. I didn't care about anything that was happening
in the battle between
any of them. I just didn't care.
Agreed.
The only time I actually really cared was Murtagh and Jaime. And this is exactly why you should keep him alive, to fulfill this kind of moment. Mm-hmm. Do you agree with that? And did you not care about any of the things or any of the people that were happening?
Honestly, if I were to have a bad, which of course I didn't, because this is my good, great, best for being a 5+, if I were to have a bad, it was that one moment where the Redcoats are rounding up everybody and they were like in this circle and they're kicking them in, and it's just like slow motion with Bear's song and and everyone's like slow-mo. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't know you, I don't care about you, don't care about you, I'm sorry. It was extraordinary filmmaking in regards to it being a battle, and it was extraordinary filmmaking and seeing it how the beginning of pretty much like the Revolutionary War kind of battles begin, where it's really, you have this official redcoats marching on in and doing their, okay, everybody shoot, and really the rusticness that happens in the woods. But I didn't care about them. And we had a few lingering moments on these nobodies, and I was like, it stinks. It stinks. I mean, battle is battle. You lose people, and you lose, and this is someone's, fictional nephew and son and husband and everything. But I would agree that there wasn't the same emotional worth in the show if they did not have Murtagh there. So I am thankful that he was able to be woven in such a poignant way to give us all of these feels. I will say that because we lost Murtagh in this episode, I did not cry the way that I thought I would have cried about finding Roger hung. Because I had already lost all of the tears on my face due to Murtagh.
Yeah, but I feel like
they still kept coming, but I didn't have the moment that I thought I would have had.
Okay, so you want me to do my outlandish theory right now? Do you want me to just do it, or do you want to wait till the end of the episode?
You can go for it.
All right, because you know what? I feel like they were being pretty transparent about this. And so normally we wait till the end of the episodes to talk about the outlandish theories. But here we go. Not just because I have to do it. All right, so as it relates to Roger, here's the deal. I feel like they're being pretty transparent. I feel like they're being pretty transparent about Roger's death, or what you would assume to be Roger's death. And I think there's no way, there is absolutely no fracking chance they are killing a character off like this off screen. It's not going to happen. Not even Game of Thrones killed a major character like this off screen. It didn't happen. And Game of Thrones is a show that would have done that. They did it. The only time I remember them killing a character off screen that was somewhat important was Syrio Forel, in season 1. Other than that, and he wasn't even all that important. Other than that, there's no way they're killing Roger Mac off screen.
I don't think they're doing this off screen. I think this is what happens in the next episode. As we've actually had I think that there was this whole chunk of time where we didn't get to see Roger's perspective. And we've done this with Roger before, where we had an episode showing what happened in his timeline before.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure what's going to happen in the next episode is we're going to see what happened to Roger. We just need to deal with this grief and understand what's happening.
Sure.
And then in the next episode, we're going to be seeing the horrors of what happened to Roger.
I think there's an argument to be made there that you're definitely saying, Mary. I think regardless, it's disingenuous of the show to do what they did, even if they do plan on going back and showing you what happened to Roger.
They had to do, I don't see that it was disingenuous. I think that because Murtagh's death was there, it wasn't as poignant.
Sure. But well, I guess here's what I'm going to get at. Here's the outlandish theory of it all.
Okay. Yeah.
Number one, we will see that it's either another person, like Roger got knocked out and Buck was the one who knocked him out. We'll see that it's either Buck wearing Roger's coat in battle, or we'll see that it actually is Roger. Roger is really hanging. But the problem is that you see the British troops leaving, and you are to assume that they're the ones that hung all the prisoners. And because they're leaving, it makes you think that they're leaving, and they're leaving shortly after hanging all these guys, so that Roger hasn't been hanging there that long. So because of that, I could see a scenario where Roger didn't necessarily break his neck. And I can also see a scenario
he's
where
holding right there.
Right.
We got to see his hand up.
Right. So I could see a scenario where he's only partially asphyxiated, and he's not, maybe he's just like passed out. He's not actually really strangled quite yet. And next episode, we'll see a scene where he like kind of like moves, and everyone's like, oh my God, Roger's dead, or Roger's not dead.
But no matter what, as I said, they needed to focus on this battle. They need to flesh it out. We needed to have this episode allow us to be in the battle perspective, yes, with Murtagh's death, but because we need to feel Jamie's fire.
Yes.
We need to see him taking off the red coat saying, enough's enough.
Yep.
Not cool with this anymore. And see this change, this dramatic. I mean, we already know what side Jamie's on, but he's had to play nice, right? So I think we had to saturate ourselves in this. Whereas if we did the two different storylines together, we wouldn't have had the same feelings that we would have had. It would have been too jarring. I think we had to be completely focused in this episode, especially because they gave it to Murtagh's death.
Yeah, sure.
We had to be there. If we were pulled out and in whatever was going on, we may not have had all of those moments.
Absolutely.
So I think that they did this on purpose so that each one, it does stink. Party was like, oh, could they have just had like, where's Roger? And then cut.
Yeah, or you see the hanging guys, and you see Bree and Jamie and Claire walking up, and instead of showing like the Roger with the coat and the white thing, the white flag, you just show her reaction. You just show Bree's reaction. You don't close up or on anything. You see her reaction, and you can imply that it's Roger, but not necessarily.
And mind you, this episode is called
The Ballad of Roger Mac.
Yes.
I agree. And again, which is kind of funny because, like, sure, Roger's in it and Roger does what he does. And the ending does imply that Roger dies, but they don't really address it. I mean, the guy's wearing a bag on his head, and it's just a little bit of a gotcha moment, and I just don't like that. I don't like the tune in 2 weeks from now to see if Roger really is dead. I don't like that, and that's the thing. Do you want my other outlandish theory, or do you want to wait?
Bring it on, babe. Bring it on.
I got a secondary theory that the title card of when they're showing the guy playing the guitar, because it is a guy, it's man hands. It's man hands.
Laying hands.
And the writing of the musical notes and everything. I got a theory that it's actually Roger in the future. And that Roger is alive, doesn't die, and makes good on the promise to take Bree and Jemmy back to the future.
And become a composer?
No, he's there and he's thinking about his time.
A composer who takes his time to write 2 whole notes?
Yeah. No, but either way, I feel like that's what's going to happen.
B and then A.
and then F major.
That's a chord.
Whatever. I don't care. I'm a podcaster, not a musician. You know that. So those are my outlandish theories, ladies and gents. I hope you like them. Mary,
do you know that the song Clementine is like wicked sad?
No, I don't. But, whoa, hold on, wait.
What?
Mary,
What?
What are you going to give me an interesting or are you
interesting?
Mock me.
Please hang up and try again.
Okay, so there you go. That's the official. Those are the two official outlandish theories. So no, I didn't know that Clementine was actually really that sad. How cute is that, though? Again, we talk about scenes versus moments, and this is one of those things where it really gives you insight and clarity on the relationship between Roger Mac and Mrs. Mac. That whole give and take about, oh, I'm going to miss you, Roger Mac, and oh, thank you, Mrs. Mac, the whole thing. Excellent stuff. How did you like their interactions at the beginning of the episode like that?
100% amazing. 100%. Love.
Yeah, they're really, really.
Clementine, the song, references North Carolina, by the way.
Does it really?
Yes.
Oh,
which
wow.
I found very interesting for a Scot to know that song, but I was like, oh, how poignant. So I also used to teach elementary music, and I was like, I know this. So it first starts off, in a cavern, down a in a cavern, to by a canyon, excavating for a mine, there lived a miner from North Carolina.
Oh, look
and
at
his
you.
daughter, Clementine. Yep.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, oh, that's really like quite interesting.
Wow, not bad.
So, yeah, not happy. Like most like songs that happen. I'm pretty sure someone dies in that song.
Mm-hmm.
Dun dun dun. And someone dies at the end of the show.
Yeah, but it ain't Roger, I'll tell you that. Even the stuff with Jamie and Claire, the real intimacy.
We're talking about Roger and Bree and Jimmy.
I will. I will defer to you. I apologize.
I felt very authentic in those moments. I felt just like familial love. I loved watching Bree, like, just look at her husband.
Stand in front of the fire.
Because that's what I want to do. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm sitting in front of a heater
a
right
little
now.
heater.
I'm like, that's exactly where I'd be. I'd be like, this house is drafty. I'm standing with my booty next to the fire. But I love I loved how he was like, if I don't come back, please, remember these lyrics and sing them to Jemmy for me. And how scared he must have been. He doesn't have any formal battle training.
No.
This is a history professor. You know what I mean? Like a sweet and loving musician. Yes, he's capable, but he has not had at all nearly the training that he needs to be going off and doing what he's about to do. And we all know, it's not just you perishing in the field of battle, but you could be severely hurt and have issues that, implicate you, that, really could really change your life. So I just loved seeing that moment of that family and him sitting there thinking like, this could be the last time that this could happen.
Sure. And
Bree's there, ever optimist,
Yep.
We've got this, man.
We're going to get it. It's going to be okay.
We're going to do this. And I loved, too, the storyline of how Bree, she's so much her parents' daughter. Mm-hmm. When she finds out the Alamance, and her memory, of course, is just as good as her mama's. Like the Rolodex of how do I remember that name, the Alamance, comes back to her, and fearlessly
like
she goes off. Yes. But at least that had happened just the week before.
Yeah,
we're talking about Bree's schooling from probably like 7th grade.
Yeah.
U.S. history or something.
That,
But as I said, she gets it from her mama. And she just goes off on that horse. Beautiful shot, by the way.
Yeah, excellent.
Taking off on that horse by herself, fearless, knowing she needs to go and warn her family.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved seeing her talking with Roger in those moments with she and Roger and Claire and Jamie all there knowing we know something that no one else here knows. And this is what makes Outlander so special. This episode was just sprinkled with like, this is why you love Outlander. Mm-hmm. And this is why you love Outlander.
Right.
And here's a little bit of time travel. Not enough to make you be like, this is weird and I don't know what's going on. Just enough to remind you, these people know what's going on. And Roger says, I have to be the one that tells him because I am from the future.
Yeah,
I need to go tell Murtagh.
Yes, right. Exactly.
And there he is again, brave. Like, you're about to go into battle. You're going to be marching into the enemy's territory to go warn Murtagh. And this, I love this about Roger. You know what I mean? He knows what he can do. He knows what he is capable of. Mm-hmm. And he's willing to lay down his life for this family. And I just, this whole episode to me, like the theme of it was family.
Sure.
From start to finish. We talked about Jamie's dad. We talked about, the godfather and their relationships. We talked about, Jamie's mom. You know what I mean? When Murtagh makes, telling him, I made this promise to your mom. We're talking about Jemmy and just all these interwoven relationships that some of them are not able to continue past this episode.
Mm-hmm. I guess the theme for this one, it would be, what does an oath mean? What does an oath mean to you, or what does an oath mean to family and to people? I guess because there's a lot of oaths here. It harkens back to episode 501, where it was what does this mean for all of us? What are we doing here? Whether it's Jamie's oath to the crown, it's his oath to his men, it's his oath to his countrymen now. It's his oath to Murtagh. It's Murtagh's oath to Jamie. It's Roger's oath to Jamie. It's Roger's oath to Bree. I mean, there's a lot of familial and there's a lot of relationships happening here, and that's why it's spectacular. And this is a professional episode of television.
Agreed.
Like this is, and it's not to say that the others aren't, but I'm saying that this is.
But this had the Outlander magic. This had.
I think a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, Outlander's back," and I'm not willing to go there.
This
yet.
episode is my Outlander.
Absolutely, because there are so many things that make Outlander in this episode, whether it is the Jamie and Claire relationship and the intimacy.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Dude, sexy. Not gonna lie. Can we do that? Can you sing?
No. Do you realize our son is next to us in this recording studio?
That's how we ended up getting a son.
Little does he know.
Yeah, no, the real intimacy, and it's not just physical intimacy, it's real intimacy between the two. There's a little bit of time travel smattered in there, like you said, Mary. There's also this notion that, dude, whatever the implications are for time travel, whatever the results are and the consequences are of time travel, damn the torpedoes. This is what we're going to do. We're going to try to stop and talk some sense into Murtagh, and we're going to send Roger to take care of this. We're going to do it. So I really liked that. We had the relationship between Bree and Roger. We have some good fighting, and obviously we have the connection between a character from season 1, the only character remaining from season 1, really.
Yeah. Think about it. It's been Claire and Jamie and Murtagh
since
episode 1. Murtagh's the one that saved Claire from Black Jack Randall.
Yes, exactly.
Like, she met Murtagh before she even met Jamie. And then he, of course, is one of the few... No, he is the only person who knows their secret, who knows of their time traveling. He's been with them through everything. He's been with them through France. He's been with them through losing a faith. He's been with them through Jamie's rehabilitation. He's been with them, through everything, through thick and thin. And even when they thought they lost him, here he is, came on back. He's gotten to meet Bree.
Yep.
Like, Lord knows he would have never imagined being able to meet their daughter. Got to meet her. Got to meet Roger.
Yep. In this episode, I remember saying this actually for the Battle Joined, where this episode cashed in. I remember that the Battle Joined cashed in on a lot of the goodwill. No, I'm sorry, not the goodwill, but a lot of the emotional relationship chips that had been established in seasons 1 and 2. It finally cashed in on it, and it was terrific. The same thing happens here. Like, I remember getting that sinking, ugly feeling when Rupert died in the Battle Joint.
Yes.
I got the same sinking, ugly feeling, but worse in this episode.
Agreed.
Only because I've now had 4.5 seasons with Murtagh, essentially, to develop that relationship, not only between he and Jamie and Claire and Bree, but also with me. With me. I've developed a relationship with Murtagh.
Agreed.
Like, out of all the people, I would have never guessed it'd be Murtagh who stuck around, and I feel that emotional about. Now, am I more emotional about Murtagh's death because of the relationship or how Sam played that death? I don't know.
Hey, either way,
I don't know. Either way, it was great. And when I said that this is a real professional episode of television, I really mean, like, this was written.
Oh, Dougal saved. Thank you, Tammy.
No. Remember, Murtagh was the one.
The garrison commander. But Murtagh's the one. I'm saying, like, episode 1.
Yeah.
Right? Murtagh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who knocks Blackjack Randall out. Yeah. He does. Yeah. When I say that this is a real, like, professional episode of television, the writing here is exquisite. And it's not just because, it's sad that Murtagh dies, or, it's sad that Jamie freaks out. No. There are some specific things that are put into this episode of television that are incredible. And the first one that stands out to me is not only Jamie's coat and what that means to the character, but really specifically, Jamie, what he does, telling those two boys, you need to protect yourselves. This ain't hunting. These people are out here trying to kill you. You cannot hesitate. You cannot make a mistake and just hope that everything goes okay. You need to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And when that happens, the kid actually does what he's supposed to do. And what happens? The one thing that Jamie was trying to prevent this entire season
As
of
he's
television.
running out there, looking for him furiously. Right. And he even says, like, I let you go. You should have gone. I mean, and that's the thing, is that we've all been feeling this. This whole season, we've been like, Murtagh, ship up to Boston. Go out west. Go anywhere, man. Just go to Oak Island, like you
do anything. Go search for some treasure.
Just don't stay here. And, we all, of course, are from the future and we know what happens.
Right.
And here he has guidance from people knowing. And yet Murtagh's Murtagh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Murtagh's a Scot through and through, and Murtagh is stubborn. And he also, as he said in the previous couple of episodes, like, I don't have this family to fight for. This is what I have to fight for. I've been fighting against the Redcoats my entire life. I'm not going to stop now. I'm not going to wait right now. So, R.I.P. Murtagh.
And not only that, not only is Tony introducing these two kids for a specific purpose and then using them to fulfill that purpose in an exquisite way, but we also have this other exceptional writing as Murtagh and as Governor Tryon are reading the letter that Tryon sends to the regulators.
Yeah.
There's this brief moment that it's showing Jamie his back on the field as these two are reading these letters, and it's Jamie solitary on the battlefield, just looking out. And this is a perfect visual storytelling idea. There's one end of Governor Tryon, and the other end, one end of Governor Tryon and Jamie's oath to Tryon, his business with Tryon, and fulfilling that role within the militia, and then the other end, Murtagh's reading his letter. And it's Jamie's oath to Murtagh, the familial connection, the godson, godfather. Jamie is alone. Nobody else can feel this burden except Jamie alone by himself. And it was such an exquisite moment. Like, I've been using the word exquisite a lot, and I'm sorry because I can't think of a better word.
Your crutch word right now? It's a quite exquisite word to have as your crutch word.
It's a phenomenal moment to have Jamie alone on the battlefield between the two, just briefly cut in between these two reading this letter that is causing the train to move forward. Regardless of whatever Jamie does, regardless of whatever Tryon does, or regardless of whatever Murtagh does, this train's going forward. It reminds me of Breaking Bad. Nothing stops this train. Like, that's what was happening here. It's perfect visual storytelling, like perfect. Again, this is the best episode since the battle joined, and it's not even close. It's not even close. This is by far the best one.
We get to see Jamie do one of the things that Jamie loves to do best, a little blood oath.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so funny because, of course, seeing him slice his hand as much as he did, and then, go into battle, all I could think about was Claire thinking about those germs.
So much corona.
She could just say, "Honey, why don't you just do like a little prick from now on? You don't have to do that big of a gouge, you know? Really don't need
a little bit of a prick, a little bit of a
Let me
prick
put a
there.
little alcohol on that wound. Let me dress that on up." But, Jamie's having that quiet reflection. And these are moments that I just adore with Jamie. And he's there and he's, having some times to himself. And he's saying a prayer. And Claire's talking with him and ends up finding out that he's saying it to Dougal Mackenzie.
Excellent reference.
Right?
Excellent reference. And
Because, of course, he was the war chief, and that's who he needs help from right now. And I did think that it was exceptionally fun that Graham McTavish, who played Dougal, ended up being a cameo in this episode. For those of you who missed it, the gentleman who beats up Roger.
Yes, right. Who played
it was
Buck, who is Dougal's son with Galus.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I like that bit of stunt casting. I think that was actually really cool.
Especially because they kept the crazy in him.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Just fiery and a little, you don't really know what's going on. Well, if you combine Dougal and Galus, yes, you will.
Yeah, you're gonna get.
You will get Buck.
You're gonna get. You're gonna get Buck. The way that they introduced him was really cool.
The voice.
Just the voice, and I remember hearing the voice going, "Wait, huh."
What do you say? Get your hands off my wife.
Yeah, or something like that, whatever it was.
And it reminded me of what Jamie says to Blackjack Randall.
Yeah, or I'll be glad that you take, something like that. You take your hands off my wife, whatever it is.
And then we didn't even get to see Buck.
No,
we
not
just
at all.
got to hear Graham McTavish's voice, that yummy yet scary voice, where you're like, wait a second, and you don't see it. And then we cut to a different scene for a moment, of course.
Right. So I really like that. I like the irony of Roger being hung, apparently, or being thrown to the wolves by his own kin. This is his family. This is Roger's ancestor.
So some people don't know who Buck is. Okay, so Galus, remember that crazy was pregnant. Remember
Yes.
when she was like, "I've got Satan's baby," and she's like being all over in the witch trials. That baby was Buck. Okay, that baby is Dougal, and Galus's baby is now grown up crazy Buck who's married to Morag.
That kid's a special kind of crazy.
Okay, and
imagine being poor Morag.
oh my god, that poor thing. She was like, "Why did I get married off to this crazy man?"
Oh my god!
But they are Roger's relatives because of course. Roger Mackenzie is a descendant of Galus and Dougal as well. So there you go. He got knocked out by Buck. That's right. You know what moment did make me feel a little awkward though?
What's that?
when Roger was like, "Oh, Morag, how's Jemmy?" And she's like, "Oh, Jemmy's good." And he's like, "Cool. I've got my own son named Jemmy. Jeremiah as well." And she's like, "Okay."
Wow.
And for a moment, Morag is probably like, "This guy's insane. Why is every man I ever meet insane?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's a great name." And then they bonk heads and he's like, "Hard heads running my family." And this is why it had to be my great, just because he's like so preciously sweet and witty. Anyway. Sorry, I digress. Can we get to some rumpy pumpy? We have to be very careful with our words because our little lad is in the studio.
I will gladly talk some rumpy pumpy with you.
Claire and Jamie just laying in bed. I gotta tell you, they have had rumpy pumpy in all sorts of places with people nearby and they just don't care. I love it because, whether it's on the boat, whether it's in the grass laying next to fellow clansmen, they just do what they gotta do. Mm-hmm. Do what you gotta do. Okay. They just do it.
Nope. You can't whistle past the graveyard on that one.
I went there.
Yes, Mary just made it. You just quoted Descendants 3.
2.
Oh, sorry. No. Do what you gotta do. That's Descendants 3.
Okay.
Is it? Wow. No. I deserve. No, it is. It was because.
Oh yeah.
I got that one because I just out Descendants you. Descendants 3, that was
for any
80s.
of you of Disney Plus, go check out the Descendants trilogy. You've got the time. You're welcome.
Oh, man.
If you enjoyed High School Musical at all, go watch the Descendants
I can't
movies.
believe I just snuggle-togged you.
Yes, you did.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, so...
wow, that was
what
bad.
were we even talking
You do what you got to do.
Rumpy Pumpy.
Yeah, the
so
Rumpy
there
Pumpy.
they are, just in these little like tents. We got to see a lot of shots of these tents. It's just a thin cloth, and they're
Sure.
all right next to each other. And there she is. She's pulling a whole like Marilyn Monroe.
Absolutely.
Way to go.
Loved it.
And I love how like she knew what she was doing.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, I'm Marilyn Monroe right now, and my husband doesn't even know who Marilyn Monroe is, and I'm going to channel Marilyn Monroe's like sexiness.
It's kind of like that movie Yesterday. Like the guy singing all the
Yes!
Beatles songs nobody else knew.
Yes, that's what she did.
I knew I was going to wear the Beatles.
That's what she did.
I knew I was going to wear the Beatles shirt for a reason. I knew it was going to happen.
She completely yesterdayed
Yeah, Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe.
She yesterdayed Marilyn Monroe.
100%. So, loved it. And I loved their whole little conversations about like, yep, you're doing pretty well there. You're hanging in there, sir. And even the tender moment about him talking about his dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that moment of mortality that he has when he's looking at his hands. And by the way, it was the hand that was all messed up that from Blackjack Randall. I loved all of the indirect references to Blackjack Randall in this episode, whether it was the red coat that Jamie is wearing and all the implied tension and all of the
red coats that have messed with him, that have infiltrated his life in one way or another. When this is just a guy who just wanted to live his life like a normal person on Lollipop. Okay, he didn't have big aspirations in life.
Yep, all of the implied stuff that's with the red coat there. I mean, a Scot wearing that red coat that's been tortured by red coats. That's the whole culture of the Highlands being eradicated by redcoats. This guy is being forced to wear it. But not only that, we have all of the stuff with all the scars on his back that's being shown as he's talking with Claire and doing this call out to Dougal at the same time. Again, oh man, really good stuff. Incredibly good stuff here. So, by the way, can I also talk? We've really gone over Sam here and his inspiring acting. And I'm not usually one to say, "Oh, give the guy the Emmy," blah 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 blah. But if they were going to submit something for an Emmy, this is the episode for Sam
Agreed.
Heughan. I'm not saying that he would get it because I don't think the show is popular enough.
I mean, his pecs could get it alone.
Mary's like...
I asked in that scene where she was kind of like patting his chest hair. I was like, Blake, do you think he's flexing? And what did you say?
I said, nope, he's just that jacked. Sorry, Mary, I don't have pecs like that.
Like, seriously, like
he's holding his breath.
And then he's trying to talk like James Fraser. Who
Sorry,
just became
Mary.
Southern in my voice.
What you got was man boobs. I apologize. You did not get pecs like that. So, no, can we just talk about Katrina Balfe and what she did upon seeing the red coat on Sam?
The acting without words in this episode, the facial expressions blew me away on everybody. There was not a person in this episode who I was like, and you stink. Like, you brought it down. Everybody brought it in this episode.
Right.
Yes, but Sam and Kat, like, they both, and Duncan.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. Some of their most stellar performances happened in this episode. And I agree with you. When he's approaching her and she looks at him in that coat, she could have done one or two things. She could have done the reaction she did, or she could have laughed. Like, what the?
Yeah, like, what are you doing?
What? But she knows. She's been there with him as he's gone through so much. You know what I mean? Because of the red coat.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. So here is...
Can we have a moment?
Yeah, sure. What do we got?
Before, because I know we're running a little long. Bear Mccreary.
Oh,
Bear Mccreary.
Yeah.
Bear McCreary's been playing a little under the radar in this season, not in a bad way, actually in a great way that, he's done his job. You want to draw this? That he's done his job well. where he's been able to enhance the scenery, been able to enhance the mood. But in this episode, he brought it. He was like, his orchestration was another character for me.
And whether it was the subtle bagpipes that played throughout the episode, or even calling back to the theme from Culloden that was, or Preston Pans that he used in seasons 2 and 3. Really excellent stuff that he is calling back to. Again, it's not necessarily all about the acting or the writing. It's when you know and you feel something that has an inherent meaning, and then you can utilize that to put that meaning on top of something else. Like there's already something ascribed. There's already something ascribed to that theme. And here they are utilizing that theme to ascribe a certain feeling upon a brand new, entirely unseen moment of Outlander, and you already know what you're supposed to feel because of that music.
Yep.
I mean, really, again, a professional episode of television. And not only that, we as viewers already knew what was going to happen. I think anybody who is a smart and intelligent viewer of television, and I would say nearly all of you out there, if you're listening to this, on the podcast, or if you're watching this live on the various platforms that we have right now, most all of you are pretty intelligent watchers of television.
Thank you, Blake.
No. I'm saying, but you engage with the material.
For your diagnosis. Okay.
You engage with the material on a level that I don't think is present in a lot of other television shows. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I think we all knew that Murtagh was going to die. I think we all knew, at least historically, obviously, we knew that the regulators were going to lose. We knew all this stuff was going to happen. And we knew that Outlander had to give us something special to watch. And it did. It absolutely delivered on its promise that it made by keeping Murtagh alive. And it delivered on its promise of giving us quality television that we could sit through and feel emotional about and connect with on a character level that I think a lot of shows miss. And to be honest, it delivered on a level that it itself has missed in seasons, most of season 4 and some of season 5. And it built up to this. It built up to this one moment. And I'm so happy that it finally did. There's one thing I want to bring up here, actually, about the hanging scene. I was scouring some of the interwebs about the hanging scene, because I just felt like, okay, what were they trying to do? And there was actually this great interview with Sophie Skelton on Collider. And they asked her about the hanging scene, what it was like. And her reply was, when they were filming it, and she said, well, it's funny that you asked that, actually, because the location was pretty tricky in terms of not seeing the bodies early. It was quite an open plain of field, and you could see the bodies hanging from the tree from quite far off. As a wife, as soon as I saw the bodies hanging from the tree, you'd be able to identify a husband. You would know his body shape. You would get that feeling, and you would know his clothes. You would know it was Roger straight away. So we had to map out where we were walking, asking the settlers, have you seen Roger Mackenzie? Have you seen Captain Mackenzie? We had to navigate that so that we weren't looking at the hanging bodies until Jamie calls Claire over and Bree sees them. And she just gets that feeling. And then when Bree sees the body, I wanted to play it as if she's just in utter shock. She doesn't want to believe what she's seeing. She's in denial, trying to process everything, but just numb and stuck. Her worst fears have now come true. I guess, in a way, Bree would feel very responsible as well. Roger's in that time because he went back to that time and he followed her through. And he's stuck there because of Jemmy, really, and because of Bree's family. It was a brutal moment, and it was quite an image, to be honest. Seeing the men hanging from the tree like that, our stunt team is incredible. It just felt so real. It was brutal. and I wanted to bring this up because obviously she feels what she feels, but they really took the time to map out where Sophie and the characters were so that they wouldn't, it wasn't obvious.
Correct.
Like, that's a very specific
Agreed. And
attention
if you
to
think
detail.
about it, if this really had happened, there was so much chaos on the ground, and they're really focusing on the soldiers on the ground. They're not necessarily looking up. Having people hanging, it wouldn't have been necessarily a normal thing going on right after this battle had happened. So it's not like there were people all over there they're looking up at the trees for. So I agree. Watching it unfold the way that it did, it was very believable that this is just how it all happened. And that's awesome to hear that they took the time and effort to really be able to do it that way, because it came off perfectly.
Right. So that's all I got for this episode. Mary, we're getting here at about an hour 4 right now.
And our little lad is still awake. So
yes. So we're probably going to have to...
The good thing, of course, is that we are going to be having a second episode this week, just as always, hopefully on Wednesday, if not on Thursday. And if you are not yet signed up for our complimentary texting service, where we let you know when that live video is happening, you can certainly get that. You just have to text the number 81010 with the word Outlander.
At Outlander.
Oh, at
the
Outlander.
at symbol
Yeah.
Outlander.
Yep.
Also, as a reminder, we will be doing our After Dark episode. Or do you want to hold off on the After Dark until...
I need to hold off.
Yeah, we're going to hold off on the After Dark. So here's a reminder for all of you right now who are either live with us right this very moment or listening to the podcast. Mary and I have a special episode of Outlander Cast called The After Dark Show, and you can get that at outlandercastclan.com. If you sign up at outlandercastclan.com, you can watch the After Dark show live after we produce an episode of Outlander Cast. It's something that's very personal. It's something that's very just Mary and I kind of shooting the breeze about Outlander and life in general. And it's especially important just to create community for all of us here at outlandercastclan.com to have that kind of connection with all of it, with each other, and just to, just shoot the breeze, man. Just have some fun. And you get to see a bunch of cat butt, because our cat always knows when it's the After Dark show, and she always joins us. So that's that. Mary, do you got any final thoughts about this episode?
I mean, she just the way she sits
at
the camera.
We're not actually showing you real cat butt, but this is the way that she sits. You got any final thoughts about this episode before we let it go?
I loved it, and not going to be able to rewatch it tonight because our little lad is up. But it's definitely a rewatcher. It is one that very poignant. I'm happy that it happened now, and I'm excited to see where the rest of the season goes.
My final thought is that this episode was the first episode, I think, since the battle joined, and maybe down the rabbit hole, where I was really excited to podcast about it. I was genuinely ready. And I couldn't wait to go live. I couldn't wait to get on into the studio and talk about it.
I know.
And this will be the first episode since, I think, Down the Rabbit Hole or The Battle Joined, where I'm genuinely eager to rewatch it and enjoy it and take it all in. It's the first one where I was like, wow, okay, these guys know what they're doing. Like, they get it, and I understand what they're trying to do. And even though I'm not as... bullish on the previous episodes in comparison to this one, I'm still not in love with how they tried to slam in the fact that it was the guys from Brownsville who shot Morton from the back, and he steps on the glass needle and breaks it, and that obviously is going to portend very poorly for our characters. Claire's probably going to need it for something. Probably Jamie related or Roger related to help them heal. But I'm very bullish on this episode, and I'm very bullish on the rest of the season and where they're going to go. So I'm very excited about it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's close this bad boy out. You ready?
Yes.
All right, let's get it done.
Appreciate it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Reese. Go ahead. Say it again. Say it again.
Thanks for listening, everybody. My mom and dad really appreciate it. And thank you writing for your podcast reviews.
Yeah, we especially want to thank Caitlin8050, who said, entertaining podcast. I just started watching Outlander this past summer of 2019 on Netflix.
Okay.
I have now upgraded to Stars on Hulu, read all 8 books, and listened to all of your podcasts. I drive around my city for work, so needed something to entertain me in the car. Your podcast has helped pass the time and enjoy Outlander more. I'm not someone who analyzes the show as Mary and Blake do, but it's nice to hear their thoughts and understand deeper meanings to the show.
Oh,
Love
thank you
guys.
very much. Thank you very much. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to partake in the listener feedback portion of Outlander Cast, you can just go to OutlanderCastClan.com. Oh, sorry, go to OutlanderCast.com and you can email us there. You can send all of your feedback via the social medias. Just look up Mary and Blake or Outlander Cast. Or if you really want to get in touch with the show, go to the Engage button at OutlanderCast.com and you'll see a button that says, a drop down that says voicemail. And you hit that, look for a button once you click voicemail, it says speak pipe, and you'll be able to utilize your computer's microphone or your phone's microphone or your tablet's microphone, and it sounds pissa. It sounds like you're in studio. And I want you to use that to talk to us and engage. That's, again, where we'll be doing the preview for next episode. And also, we'll be doing the After Dark show after the listener feedback episode. Just because Mary's already muscled through an hour and a half of Outlander Cast, so I'm very proud of her.
And thank you to our patrons.
Oh, good boy.
What? Here they are.
We want to thank our associate producers, Angie, Candy, Carolyn, Celine, Christine, Dawn, Diane, Jeffrey, Jennifer, Marilyn, Maureen, Patricia, Sivan, Stephanie, and Valerie, as well as our co-producers, Amanda, Ann Lee, Barbara, Dana, Janet, Keelan, Lori Ellen, Marianne, Meredith, Raynal, Sharon, Tina, and Whitney, as well as our executive producers, Ann, Bobby, Dee, Jen, Katie, Kirsty, Martha, Nadra, Peg, and Sarah. Truly everyone at OutlanderCastClan.com makes this possible. It keeps the clan going. It keeps the website going. We truly appreciate it.
Hey, Reese, you want to hear something special? All the people that are watching us live right now, there are like hundreds and hundreds of people watching us right now. They all love you. They're saying to me specifically that, Reese, you are so cute and that you're amazing. And they love your drawings as well.
No, you don't even know what he's been drawing.
Reese, can you say thank you to everybody?
Thank you, everybody, for watching this part of an episode.
And listening.
And listening to my mom and dad.
Say that you draw the standing stones.
I drew the standing stones, but as you turn on the other side, there's the real picture.
Oh, good boy.
And also my most famous picture that I drew of Outlander.
Say it's Claire and Jamie riding their horse.
It's actually the fume yard that they ride in. And I added some mountains.
Okay, so this is live podcasting, ladies and gents. You've been privy to it. Thank you very much for listening to us. Reese, just one last time, say thank you to everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
And
thank you to the Outlander Cast staff who continue to pump out amazing blog content, keep the clan moderated, keep our social media channels and our newsletters rocking and rolling. You guys are the best. Thank you. And as a heads up,
have a wonderful week.
Yeah, have a wonderful week. That is good.
And wash your hands so you don't get the coronavirus. It is such a mean germ.
Yes, it is. All right.
Bye, guys. My name's Mary.
My name's Blake.
And?
Who are you?
I'm little drawing guy, and I love to draw.
What's your name?
Reese Larson.
All right, that a boy. We'll see you next time.
Good night, everybody.